I know that you remember these. Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Let's make a very stylish way to carry a bunch of these. Welcome to my channel, friends. Thank you so much for being here today. I truly appreciate it. We're doing something awesome today, and I think you're going to love it. Y'all, I had these upside down. Didn't even notice. I'll bet you noticed. But we're going to take these and we're going to make a very beautiful holder. Not only will it hold these two, but it will hold two more. So we're going to make a holder for 4 composition books. It is probably going to be one of the most stylish things you have seen on YouTube in a while. So I'm going to flip to my overhead camera to give you a closer look. But y'all know what time it is? It's time to make it. So these are the 2 composition books that we made in a previous video. I'm going to have that video linked below because after today's project, you are going to want to grab some composition books and you're going to want to make this holder. And here is what I'm talking about. This is the holder for 4 composition books. I have 2 of them in here that I have not decorated yet. I will be decorating them. But what we have here are 4 composition books in this nice chipboard holder. And when we close it, our books stay secure. They are not going to flop around or come out at all. And then when you look at it like this, it looks like a book box or just a present. But it's not. It is a holder for 4 composition books. And then when you look at it this way, you get a checkerboard effect. Y'all, this is fabulous. I absolutely love it, and it is so easy. So here's what we're going to need to make it. I have 2 pieces of lightweight scrapbook paper that I'll be using for the inside liner. We're starting with 12 by 12. We will cut these down. Then I have 2 pieces of that houndstooth that I will be using for the jacket. And I have 1 piece of 12 by 12 that I'll be using for those inside pockets that will actually hold the notebooks. And then I have my chipboard pieces. I have 1 piece for the spine that measures 1 5/8 by 10 1/4. And then I have 2 pieces that are cut at 8 by 10 1/4. So the first thing we're going to do is just go ahead and tape our chipboard pieces, and then we'll make the outer part of the jacket. So I am just going to take my tape, place my tape on my pieces, and y'all, I will be right back. I am using a double stick tape. All right, so now that I have all of my pieces taped, I am going to bring in the 2 pieces that are for the jacket. And again, I'm using that houndstooth paper. Right now, these 2 pieces measure at 12 by 12, and I'm leaving them at 12 by 12 as I put them together because I want to make sure that I have my seam on the back side. I don't want it on the spine, and I don't want it on the front of the book. So I'm just putting it together like this so that I can control the placement of my chipboard pieces. Now the tape that I'm using is called scrappy tape, and it's sold in a variety of sizes. The size I just used right here was my 1/4 inch size, and the size that I used for the chipboard was the 1 1/2 inch. So now you can see that my seam is right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this and put it right there because I want that seam to be on the back. And then I can take this piece and put it right there. And let's see if we can squeeze this in. I can move that over just a little bit. Yeah, I still have room to move over. So now we have our pieces down, and you can see I'll be trimming away this part. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just peel away the backers from the back of my jacket. And I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Let's put that right there. And now we can take our spine, peel away the tape backers. I'm going to turn my piece around this way because it's actually easier for me to do chipboard placement when I'm placing it from the right. Pretty sure it has everything to do with me being right-handed. I've watched my sister, Miss T's Crafty Corner, on YouTube, Teresa, and she's a lefty. So when I watch her, she actually does it in the opposite. So I'm pretty sure that whatever hand dominance we are determines how we do certain things. And this is definitely one of those for me. If I tried to put it on like this, I could never get it straight. So I'm just going to take this, put it down right here. Now I'll flip over, get everything nice and stuck. Now let's trim away some of that excess because we don't need it all. And if you're new to my channel, this little gadget here that I'm using is a Fiskars finger blade. I've been using it now for about, I know, over 15 years, long before I was ever on YouTube. And I use it because I'm not really good with scissors. So when I found this many, many moons ago, it really made the difference for me in being able to cut. Scissors are just not my friend. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking my stylus, pressing it against the chipboard, and driving it into the paper to get a score. That score helps to loosen the fibers a little bit. This is not going to stop your paper from cracking. If you have a paper that is prone to crack, it is probably going to crack. But this does help to loosen the fibers just a little bit, which might help to minimize the severity of the cracking. So now I'm just going to stand it up and train my paper to fold over. Doing that pre-score also gives you a very crisp fold over score. So I'm just folding this over. My paper is not cracking, which is a good thing. So now I'm going to take my finger blade and let's just miter our corners. And again, if you're new to paper crafting, mitering means that we're going to cut in like this just to basically give us a piece that we can fold over and have a nice professional end. So I'm just going in like this and like that, and we'll remove that piece. So now I can take my tape and I'm going to put my tape on my chipboard piece. And I'm going to cover this chipboard in tape. And y'all, I will be right back. And so now that I have my chipboard pieces taped, I'm just going to figure out the sizing for my liner pieces. And because this is longer than my scoreboard, I'm just going to use this cheat method that I do. I'm going to take this piece and put it right here. So I know it'll take a full 12 by 12. Then I'm going to take this piece, put it right here, not measuring. And then I'm just going to mark it. Now I can take this, put it in my trimmer, and cut. And I know that this is 10 1/4 inches long, so I'm just going to cut this at 10. We'll leave this piece at 12. By 10. So that's just a very quick way of figuring out your liner pieces when your piece is larger than your scoreboard. So that's typically what I do when I'm trying to figure out my piece sizing for the bigger pieces. So now I'm going to take some tape and I'm just going to go around the edges of the liner. And to go around the edges, I will use my 1/4 inch tape. All right, so I have the tape on my liners. Let's go ahead and peel away these tape backers, I'm going to take these pieces and fold them over. And I'll take this and just add a little bit of tape to the corner here. And I can do this with my tape runner. I'm going to fold over. Let's go ahead and get this nice and stuck. Do the same thing over here. Let's stick it. And now I can bring in my big old spatula to make sure that I have everything nice and stuck. I am going to take my big old spatula and go along the bottom to make sure that I have it squared and nice and professional looking. I said the bottom, I meant the edges. And now we have what's really shaping up to be a very stylish jacket for those stylish notebooks. We can take our liner piece. Let's peel away the backers. Let's take this piece and we're going to put it down like this. I think this is going to be a very beautiful inside. And then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to put it right here. But one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to add some extra tape so that I don't have any bubbling in the overlap of the paper. So I like to add some extra tape. So I am going to put, about this much tape. It's completely up to you if you want to do this or not. I just like to make sure that I have plenty of tape so that everything lays flat when I put it down. So I'm peeling away my backers and we'll take this piece and I'm just going to line it like this and put it down. Now I'll take my big old spatula. Let's go into that groove and really work that spine. And I'll come at it from this direction, go in there, really work that spine, getting it nice and professional looking. And there is our jacket. If you have any paper puckering, just go back with your big old spatula or bone folder, whatever you're using, and just go in and work it. Now on a piece this large, I tend not to use glue on this part because it's a very large piece and your glue might warp it. I'm not sure what type of glue you use, but it might warp the piece. So I like to use tape whenever I'm doing something like this. So now that we have our jacket, we are ready to make the insert for this. So I am going to bring in my black and white stripe. So on the bottom, you want to score at 7/8 of an inch. And then at 1 3/4 and at 5 1/2. So we scored at 7/8 of an inch, 1 3/4 and 5 1/2. Then we're going to rotate it. We score at 1/4 of an inch and at 1 1/8. So that's 1/4 and 1 1/8. Rotate it to the opposite 12 and do the same thing. Score at 1/4 of an inch and at 1 1/8. And then we do the same thing on the second piece. We score at 7/8, 1 3/4, and at 5 1/2. Then we rotate it to the longest side. We score at 1/4 of an inch and 1 1/8. Rotate it to the opposite 12 and repeat that. 1/4 of an inch and 1 1/8. So now we are just going to fold and burnish all of our scores. All right, so to put it together, you're going to have a part that has 2 scores and then a single score. This is going to be the top of our little holder where you have that single score. That's the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just free this inside tab like that, and then we remove the corner pieces. You'll have 2 of those that we need to remove, and I zoomed in hopefully so that you can see what I'm doing. I hope I haven't zoomed in too much. So now I'm going to take my tape runner, and I am just going to add some tape like that and fold over. And then here on the bottom, we will be getting rid of these 2 corner pieces right here and right here. Normally we get rid of 3 corner pieces, but this time we're only doing 2. So I'm going to go up to that second square mark and drag straight down. Then I can angle in like this. Go to this square mark, angle, and remove. And it'll look like that. We'll do the same thing over here. I can go up to that second square mark and drag straight down. Then we can angle, angle, and remove. So now your piece looks like this. We're simply going to fold in these sides. We'll take this piece, add some glue to it, and secure it to the bottom first. So I'm adding that glue to both sides. And we'll take this piece and let's just smush it around in the glue a little bit. And then let's just get those corners nice, tight, and crisp. Then I'll do the same thing over here. I am going to take my glue and just smush it around. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I use Reptile adhesive as my wet glue. So now I'm going to take just a little bit of glue, put it right in there, as well as right here, so that we can fold over and get these stuck. So you see how I have that corner? We just made that little pocket. We want to get that nice and stuck. So I'll hold it for just a moment. It will not take that Reptile adhesive long to set up. And then I'm going to just do the same thing here. We'll hold it for just a moment. And I've already done one, so we have these 2. And I'm going to add just a little stabilizer piece here just to give it some extra sturdiness because I'm not using chipboard on this part. So we have this leftover houndstooth. I am going to go ahead and trim it to 9 3/4. Then I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 1 1/2 by 9 3/4. And then I'm going to score these 2 pieces on the 1 1/2 inch side at 3/4 of an inch because we're going to double up. And that allows us to use some of that scrap that we had left over. So now I can take this and we'll fold it. Take this and we will fold it. Now I'll take my glue and just add some glue here to the inside. Fold over so that we can get that stuck. I'm going to make sure that this fits on the inside here by just taking it and putting it in. And then let's do the same thing with this one. I'll add my glue. We'll fold over, and y'all, by the time we finish doing this, we're going to have a base that's just as sturdy as if we had added a piece of chipboard. So I have just a little bit of overhang here where my fold was not quite straight. I'm going to trim that because I don't want it getting in the way. Now I'm just going to take some glue, put some glue on this piece, bring in this, just put it in like that, and I'll just go in, getting it nice and stuck. And now we have a very sturdy base on this. I'll do the same thing with this one. We're going to add our glue. going to take this piece and put it in, get it stuck. And now we can bring our jacket back in. And the way that we're going to do it is we're going to take these two pieces and we're going to put them in like this. So our composition books will not fall out. So I am just going to take some glue, and I'm going to be very generous with my glue because I do not want this coming undone. My paper has a little waxy coating on it. It will take very well to the glue, but I want to make sure that nothing comes undone. Now I can take this and I'm going to have it fairly close to the edge. You can see how close I have that. And then I'm just going to take a bone folder, go in, make sure I have everything nice and stuck. We don't want anything coming undone. So I'm getting everything nice and stuck. And now on this side, I'll do the same thing. So I'm going to take my glue, add some glue, go across here, add some glue, being very generous with my glue. And I'll take this piece. I am going to bring this over because I want to make sure that they're fairly even in placement, so I can see that I need to slide that over. So what I mean by fairly even is I want to make sure that my ends are matching pretty much. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. So now I'll go in and first I'll just make sure that this is stuck. And then I'll just make sure that that back is stuck. And that way it won't move on me. And so now when we close it, it does look like this. It's got that crisscross look. I'm okay with that. But what I really wanted to happen was to have this be nice and even like a book box. And y'all, it's pretty nice and even. So now I'm going to bring in my composition books. I have the two that I've decorated. I have two more that I need to decorate, but I haven't. And we just put those in like that. And put these in like that. Now the measurements for these holders here are designed to hold 2 composition books on each side with 3 of the inserts. Now if you make yours thicker than what I have done here, if you decide you want to put in 12 inserts, you're going to need to make adjustments for how deep your holders are. And when you do that, you also have to make an adjustment to your spine. I just wanted to make sure that I made that clear because this truly is custom created for the 9 3/4 by 7.5 composition books with 3 folder inserts. So now we can close this. And y'all, there we have it. Pretty sturdy. Very nice way to have 4 composition books at the ready. I think I am going to add just a little decorative touch to the outside here. All right, so then I decided just to keep it very simple, very classy. And I'm going to go to my little book of inspirational sayings, Celebrate Life by the Paper Studio, Hobby Lobby. I normally get these when they're 50% off. This one I've had for a while, so they are on sale right now if you're interested, if they still have them. So I'm going to take this one that says, do more of what makes you happy. And we'll be putting that on top like that. So I am going to take my tape and I'm just going to place some tape on this piece because it stays closed on its own. But if you want to add a closure, you certainly can. You can take some scrap, put it on the back, and then wrap it around. If I was adding a closure to this, I'd probably use about a 2-inch wide band because this is a very large front and this would actually be too small. So if you want to add a closure, you certainly can. So I am just going to peel away this backer. I'm going to take this and trying to look at it to make sure that it's straight before I actually put it down. I'll go with that. And y'all, there we have it, a beautiful holder for 4 composition books. Not only is it super stylish, but it's super functional as well. And I was going to put something here, but I don't think I am because I want the bees just to stand out. Now I might put something over here to decorate this. Haven't decided on that either, but this is how you can take something oh so plain old composition books, use some decorative paper, along with some chipboard, and turn out an absolutely fabulous project. You can even put little buttons here on the back to make it look more like a book. But y'all, we're only limited by our imagination, so let your imagination run wild when you are creating and crafting your paper projects or any projects that you're doing. So thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you have enjoyed this video because I certainly have enjoyed bringing it to you. If you have enjoyed the video, and I certainly hope that you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, all day, every day, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. Y'all, we're not doing it like everyone else. We march to the beat of a different drummer on this channel, so I would love to have you join us. So hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you will know when I upload a new video. As always, my beautiful, crafty friends, please be safe, be kind, and be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.